All right, Shalom. It's the brothers from out here in the GMS, North Carolina, GMS Raleigh. Before we start this beautiful lesson, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double understand Apostle is a great millstone teaching us to understand truth according to the Bible well, and peace and blessings self-elect to the nation of Israel. As you can see, the title of today's lesson, Sow and Reap. Just a play on words, dealing with the scriptures. We understand, whatsoever a man soweth in the earth, that's what he's going to reap. Here it is, you plant a seed, an apple seed to grow apple. No matter how much tearing and waiting, and hoping you may do, an orange is never going to grow. It's always going to be an apple. So is the cause and effect with the laws of Yahweh Shema Shai and his righteous judgment, his supreme judgment that he has over the universe. As a man soweth in a righteousness or wickedness, that's what he's also going to reap. So that's what we're going to get into in the Lord's willing lesson. Is that fine? You got it, brother.
God. This is Galatians chapter 6 and verse 7. It says, "Be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap."
That's right. Be not deceived. Because there's this foolish notion, that God gave you free will and, or God is all love. God hates the sin and not the sinner. The Lord is telling us, don't be deceived by, these false interpretations of what the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai requires of you. Whatsoever a man soweth, that's what you're going to reap. And if you're sowing wickedness, you're going to reap the judgment of wickedness, right? And that's why we, who are the believers of Yahweh Shema Shai, we must continue to sow in righteousness. And not only in righteousness, but also exuding the characteristics of righteousness, right? Patience, right? You have to sow and be impatient, right? So when hard times and tribulation come upon you, you may be calm in the midst of that storm, right? Long suffering, You got it, brother. Read it again, Bakasha.
Yep. It's Galatians 6 and verse 7. "Be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap."
Keep going.
Yep. Verse 8, Galatians 6 and 8. "For he that soweth to his flesh, for he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption."
That's
but
right.
He that,
and that's why, brothers should be, one example is that, brothers who don't have care for their diet, brothers who are abusing themselves with overeating, abusing themselves with, overly processed foods, well, you're going to reap the repercussions of that. You're going to be inflamed, you're going to be sluggish, low energy, right? All of these things, from the small matters to the great matters, you're going to reap them, and that's why you have to understand, the way Yahweh Shema Shai set things up in the earth. This is like a law that you can apply to almost anything. You sow in good money management skills, you're gonna reap, in that. You see, there's so many aspects that you can apply. This saying, you sow what you reap, right? And we must understand that. You got it, brother.
Yep. Galatians 6 and 8. "For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting."
That's right, shall reap life everlasting. That's why we have a mindset of keeping the main thing the main thing. Constantly being instant in prayer, right? Constantly and consistently fellowshipping with the brothers, staying in constant communication with the Spirit of the Lord. And that's what gives us the power. That's how we reap the power to overcome the day-to-day temptations that we go through. And with enough time of us sowing in the Spirit and constant experiences that we're gaining, right? We're going to inherit everlasting life, the kingdom of heaven. So we have to every day rekindle and refuel our vision of the kingdom of heaven. So every day you should be constantly sowing to the Spirit. You see? You got it, brother. Read verse 9 about Pasha.
Yep. This is Galatians 6, verse 9. And let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not.
That's right. You know, that word weary means to be faint, you know, faint hearted, you know, weak, spiritless. You know, here we're doing something that is good, you know, something that is well. You know, you know, we have justice on our side. You know, we have the righteous justice of Yahweh Shema Shah on our side. You know, we're doing that which is pleasing to the Lord. So we can't be all weary, tireless, faint. You know, keep enduring. The Lord is teaching us a long suffering, right? In due season, you know, the Lord's telling us in due season. I believe that's Sirach 36. You know, the Lord shall give every needful thing in due season. Yeah, He's gonna give you, you know, what you've been sowing. He's gonna give you that reward. You know, because we do get you know, rewards from time to time when we overcome tests, temptations, periods of trials, right? And a trial could be a whole year. You know, you just gotta keep suffering, keep bearing your cross.
I got a quick one.
Bring it out, brother.
Yep. This is Romans chapter 8 and verse 13. It says, for if we live after the flesh, ye shall die. But if ye through the Spirit do mortify the deeds of the body, ye shall live. You know,
that's right. You can speak on it, brother.
Okay, yeah, because going into pretty much how the Lord deals. There's no middle ground. It's either you're living to live, or you're living to die. You know, so that's, you know, as far as the judgment of the Lord goes, there's no gray area. There's no in between. You know, either you're gonna live after the flesh, which you're living after the flesh, mean you're gonna die. You need to be carnal. You know, always, you know, doing things because it pleases those lusts. You know, just eating all the sweet stuff because it's not adding no nutritional value to you. It's just you fulfilling those lusts, fulfilling, you know, those endorphins and that body does that feel good. You know, it's not doing nothing for you. And that's how, you know, we're supposed to, as far as separate ourselves from it, because if you keep doing these things, you're going to end up dying, man. But it says, but if you through the Spirit do mortify the deeds of the body, mortify means to put to death, you know, cutting off those bad habits, you know, slowly but surely, man, getting off those GMOs and getting off all the stuff that, you know, you maybe ignorantly were putting yourself in situations you didn't know. But now wisdom is supposed to what? It's supposed to apply you into changing yourself, changing your ways, you know, because again, we're in the movement, you can say, of the spirit of trying to live, you know, which it takes action, you know, to break bad habits. You know, they talk about that cycle to create new habits. It takes time, man. You can't just do it one time and then you think it'll continue on. You know, man, you have to break these bad habits, and pretty much us detoxing ourselves from these toxic ways that we picked up growing up in this wicked world, man. You know,
That's right, brother. Because every habit, every behavior, whether good or bad, has a reward system. You know, for people who smoke cigarettes, no matter how bad it is for them, what they get that hit of nicotine.
Yeah.
You know, but it's so bad for them. They know it's bad for them. But you got any more on that, brother?
No, I'll stop there.
God, I'm gonna read this, Papa Kashaw.
Okay.
This is Hosea 10 and 12. Sow to yourself in righteousness, reap in mercy. Break up your fallow ground, for it is time to seek the Lord till He come and rain righteousness upon you. Right? And dealing with that fallow ground, you know, that's an uncultivated ground. Like you were saying, you know, this isn't just something that you're just gonna, you know, start doing in all one day. You know, for brothers who are, you know, in the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah that want to work on, you know, bettering your, you know, your eating habits, your sleeping schedule, your workout routine, right? Your studying habits, right? Your communication skills. All of those things are going to take time, right? But it's about sowing. It's about being intentional, right? It's about cutting off and breaking off, you know, those things that are not serving you anymore, right? I'm gonna read one more time, Bob Shaw.
Yep.
This is Hosea 10:12. Sow to yourself in righteousness, reap in mercy. So that's what we have to understand, you know. you reap the mercies of Yahweh Shema Shai when you're doing that which is well pleasing unto Him. You made sometimes you could be like for example, you could be driving down the road, you could be going over a speed limit a little bit, but you're in the spirit of like you meditate in the spirit tell you slow down. The Lord whisper to you, you listen to it, and there you pass a cop, or sometime you driving home, spirit be like, here, take this exit. You're like, why would I take this exit? Before you know it, you stuck in traffic. So you gotta be sowing, in the spirit, so you can reap the Lord's mercy. You gotta constantly be in listen. You gotta constantly having your ear, and your temple clean. You gotta keep your temple clean, because the world is constantly trying to pollute your temple. Just finishing it off, and then you got it, brother. It says, sow to yourself in righteousness, reap in mercy, break up your fallow ground, for it is time to seek the Lord till He come and rain righteousness upon you. Kind of. That was it.
Yep. No, that's heavy because it's to break up your fallow ground, like you said, the uncultivated ground. Hey, that's your mind, man. These thought processes, and as far as the judgments of Yahweh Shai goes, you didn't know what this was. To think like a man of the Lord and follow after Yahweh Shai. You have to again to break those bad habits, because that's I think we was talking about stoicism, those quotes. I think is we are pretty much what we repeatedly do. So like excellency isn't it isn't an act, but it's a habit. So constantly doing the things that are in the spirit. That's how you ultimately cultivate it. Because you can't just water a plant one time and then okay, yeah, it'll grow, man. Nah, man, it's constant. You have to constantly attend to it. You have to pay attention to it. You got to be purposeful. And that's how it is again in this walk, man. Because now it's the time to seek the Lord. That's the whole point. We're doing this not for vain glory. We're doing this to seek Yahweh Shai. These are the things that are pleasing in His sight. But yes, sir.
You got it, brother.
Yeah, I had that quick one, Sirach 7. This is kind of back up that point. This is Sirach 7 and verse 36. It says, whatsoever thou takest in hand, remember the end, and thou shalt never do amiss. Because King Solomon said it, as far as whatever you put your hands to do, do it with all your might. So you making sure that ultimately whatever you put your hand to, of course, you're supposed to be giving 100% effort to it, but ultimately, whenever you, as far as make a decision goes, you have to think about the fruit of it. Should I be really dealing with this woman? Should I be driving home drunk? Should I be out at 3 o'clock in the morning? Think about the end, because that's what a judge does as far as being prudent. It says a prudent man foreseeth the evil, right, and hideth himself. So if you're supposed to have some kind of inkling of judgment, especially knowing the Yahweh Shai, you're doing stuff that's not pleasing in His sight, because ultimately you're not using the fear. You're not enabling the fear of the Lord, and that's what gets you in a situation that gets you in trouble. So if you consider the end of it, the fruit of it, because again, we're supposed to be, as men, we're supposed to be farsighted, not nearsighted. Will this prosper? Will this help me in my walk? If it doesn't, then you probably should cut it off. That's that parable Yahweh Shai said. If your eye offends you, cut it off. Certain things, you got to cut off these bad habits, because it's going to ultimately shut up you in your salvation, man.
God, bro. You grab the next precept, Pop.
Yep. This is Sirach 15, and you want to start at what? Is it 16?
Yeah, Bob, I believe 16.
Yep. This is a Sirach 15 or Ecclesiasticus 15. In verse 16, it says, He have set fire and water before thee, stretch forth thy hand unto whether thou wilt.
That's right. I was making, jokes with the brother, brother's like, Eve is going to do whatever she wants. I was like, no, Jake is going to do whatever they want. Jake has this spirit of, kind of like, the Heavenly Father, He is, the Most High. We have that spirit in us. The Most High does whatever He wants. But we have to understand, as wisdom is teaching us what is really good for us. And what Yahweh Shema Shai teaches us was good, that's what's good for us as well. And we have to let the things that are good for us, let those be the most desirable things. And what's our desire? To please the Lord. right? To please Yahweh Shema Shai. So doing good, that to our which is our desire, that should be the most desirable thing towards us. So Yahweh Shema Shai, he's set, what do you really want? He's testing you. That's why Satan is really testing you to see, like, is he really for the Lord? Because you can be praying for something, say you're praying for a new job, you got a current situation, you pray for a new job. Well, your current job offer you more money. You're like, wait a minute, do you want more money or do you want a new job? So it's just like the Lord is like, you constantly gonna be tested. What do you really want? What we as the believers of Yahweh Shema Shai want, we want to make sure we're pleasing the Lord, in all sincerity and truth. We want those new bodies so we can serve the Lord in 100%. And that comes with tests to see what you really want. You got it, brother.
This is Sirach 15 in verse 17. It says, before man is life and death, and whether him like it shall be given him.
Whether him like it. So if you see wisdom and knowledge and understanding, you see the benefit of those things, and you really understand, like, this is really what I want. I don't care about that woman with the big booty over there, so I can miss Saturday camp. I'm not gonna miss Saturday camp because they offering triple overtime at the job. Absolutely not. What I want is to be out there preaching the words of Yahweh Shema Shai. What I want is to, serve the Lord in all sincerity and truth, and fear and trembling, and be obedient, to what He said. You see? You got it, brother.
Yep.
You chime in too if you feel.
Yeah, I got something for you. This is Wisdom of Solomon 1. I'll start at the top at verse 1. So Wisdom of Solomon 1, verse 1. It says, love righteousness, ye that be judges of the earth. And Apostle Paul, made it a point about, if we're going to be set up to be judging angels, how much more judging the little matters. As far as your life goes, you should pretty much treat that as your own kingdom. So your habits and the thing, how you conduct yourself, hey, that's a test for you. If you can't run your domain, how could you run, a city? How could you run a village? How could you run a world or a nation? How could you lead a people? If, ultimately you don't love righteousness, because again, doing these things, it shouldn't be grievous, get into the herbs, keeping the ways of Yahweh Shai, not eating certain things, staying away from certain things, ultimately being in the spirit. You should love that, because ultimately that's what our spirit longs after. If you have ultimately, you have that mindset of the elect, you would say, put on therefore the elect. But Wisdom Solomon 1, verse 1, love righteousness, ye that be judges of the earth. Think of the Lord with a good heart, and in simplicity of heart seek him. So going back to keeping it simple, in simplicity of heart seek him. We don't need all this extra flamboyant stuff. All the Mr. Deacon over there. I go in the garage and get some. That's not stuff we're chasing after. It's a byproduct of hard work, whatever. But that's not something we're seeking after. We're seeking of the simplicity in Yahweh Shai. And again, that goes into love and judgment. So judging yourselves. I think that's in is that Corinthians? Judge yourself, that you pretty much don't have to be judged.
They be not judged. If you judge yourself, you won't be judged. That's why, brother, you should be hard on yourself. You should have a why. Damn, why did I do that? Why am I doing this? Is this actually helping me? Is this actually, because there's a balance for everything.
Yeah.
Everybody wants pizza and ice cream every night.
Right.
Or chicken wings. Everybody want that, but it's like, why am I doing this? Is it helping? What is it doing to me? How is it affecting me? It's the question you gotta ask. As you should be. That's part of examining yourself, investigating your actions. Investigating your actions and how to move forward. Because every day we live every day. Every day is a new opportunity. To sow in the spirit.
Exactly. Yep, because we just read it. Before man is life and death ultimately is a choice. Choosing death. You're gonna, keep dealing with these big booty hoes and staying up all night drinking. Being stupid, listening to nigga music all day, maxed out volume. You want to live that lifestyle. You want to chase after that. Then that's death's gonna follow you. But as far as righteousness goes, how about meditation? How about sitting in silence? When the last time you heard your own thoughts? That's why we just talk about examining yourself, man. Whether you be in the faith. But we want more in that Wisdom of Solomon. There's a Wisdom of Solomon 1 verse 2 that says, "For he will be found of them that tempt him not, and sheweth himself unto such as do not distrust him." Because how we behave ourselves, it's all in faith. Going back to Apostle Paul, man, he said, "How much more in his absence?" So just because you don't have eyes on you 24/7, which we do say, such a man only feareth the eyes of men. Not the eyes of the Lord 10,000 times brighter than the sun. So all your bad habits and stuff you try to put in the closet, put a front on or whatever, the Lord sees, man. So you have to ultimately conquer yourself. Stop bullshitting, stop making excuses. Because especially in this world, got the Instagram. Everybody wants to put on their best face, but they'll never, put their fails and slip ups and things where they fall short at because they're living a lie, man. They're not being honest with themselves, and that's why again, we just read here. Read one more time. Wisdom of Solomon 1 verse 2. For he will be found of them that tempt him not. Because it goes into what the Lord, what Satan tried to tempt Yahushua with, which he was quoting Psalms. Pretty much he said, "You're not supposed to tempt the Lord your God, man. So you're living all crazy, oh, the Lord will save me, the Lord's with me, but you're literally hanging off the edge of the building about to jump. That's tempting the Lord, man. And the Lord's not gonna. He says he's not gonna be found of him that tempts him, man. So I'm gonna finish it. It says, "And sheweth him unto such as do not distrust him." So again, how we, these mannerisms and things we pick up, from our apostle nails on down, looking up stuff and getting into certain things. It's because ultimately we trust in Yahweh Shai, and we know the fruit of it. It's not just clinical or whatever. It's like we just placebo effect, man. This stuff really works, man. And if you had the faith to get into these certain things, you'll see the benefits of some of the examples we're getting into, man.
God, no, that's facts, bro. That's facts. When I heard a quote just dealing with your health, this isn't medical advice or anything.
Yeah.
But no, it's like that's funny you gotta say that. But you don't know like there's two sides of the coin. Like you don't know how good you have it right now until you get very sick. You don't value your health until you get very sick. But also you don't know how good you can feel until you start taking care of yourself. Like a lot of brothers deal with a lot of chronic fatigue, tired all the time. You don't really know, like, really, brothers who eat good, they can attest to this. We don't get tired. We gotta set our asses down and try to get some rest.
Right.
So if you're taking care of yourself. Wow, I don't get tired. You're just going so hard. Eventually, you pass out type of deal.
Yeah.
But you don't get tired. You just keep going. So yeah, brothers. We're gonna get we hold one more, right?
Yeah, you wanted Hebrews. Yep, and then I do have one more.
Yeah, you want to bring yours out first, or you want to bring it out after the Hebrews? I'll let you discern that.
I'll get this one real quick, and then we'll get the Hebrews. So, just to extend that point, so the Sirach 37 or Ecclesiastes 37, and notice the the precepts we're bringing out. These are pretty much going into, these are proverbs, man. Insights and wisdom that our forefathers they lived the same and walked on the same earth we live, and they've been through it. That's what it's good to say. Things are written aforetime, or written for our learning. But there's Sirach 37. I'll start at 27. It says, "My son, prove thy soul and thy life, and see what is evil for it, and give not that unto it." So certain brothers have different spirits. Because when we read the next verse, not everything is profitable unto all men. So certain things, you just because another brother's doing it, don't mean you should be doing it. It's as simple as that, man. Because maybe it's not for you. Some brothers don't need to have a bunch of money, because what they're gonna do? They say they're gonna find themselves into hurtful lust and then be drawn into perdition. Some brothers don't need a woman. Some brothers don't need to be doing certain stuff, because why? Because ultimately it's not good for them. It's ultimately be evil unto them. And it says, "Prove your own soul," so that ultimately again goes into being honest with yourself. Prove your own soul. See what is good for it, and then not give onto it. So that takes wisdom. Like, I shouldn't be doing this. That's that inside dialogue that a lot of brothers sometimes don't listen to. That's that conscience, right?
Yeah. Yeah, just brothers will have a long day at work and then eat bad, and they'll say, I'm just so tired because of the job. It just weighing on me. I'm just like, nah, it's that diet, bro.
Yeah, exactly. The double cheeseburger sitting in your gut.
That's what's weighing on you. That's why you passed out after that. It wasn't the job.
Right.
So yeah, it's just like, from a brother just coming from, who always had, stomach aches, things like that, who ate bad in the world, so yeah, I can give, my personal testimony, it is, it's a benefit, that's why, bro, it's why even the elder Apostle Gabar, he went into how, he's not ashamed to say that he, he got those pounds added to him, and then he lost it. And he say, look at me now.
Exactly.
Look at me now. He's like it's a benefit. Look at the apostles, bro. They lively as ever. Because they take care of themselves. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, and they, push that on the brothers. To do the same. And spirit just got us on health. As a lot of places. You sowing. It's gonna be a benefit. Working out, whatever it may be. Reading more. You wanna know how to remember them precepts. You got to read more.
Exactly.
There's just so many things. That's why whatever you do, you got to be very intentional how you do
Yep.
it.
One more. Sirach 37, verse 28. It says, "For all things are not profitable for all men, neither have every soul pleasure in everything." So I know for me, example, I don't like being up too late. I don't like being out when it's dark. I'm in the crib. Because hey, I don't need to be out late. Some brothers have jobs where they got to be overnight. Their schedule's kind of backwards. They're sleeping on the day and then up at night. But again, not everything's profitable unto you. Meaning you shouldn't be adding on to it. Because think about time, especially being mortal. That's a precious asset, man. Which really, that's the most important thing we have is time. That we have to use it wisely. Especially being in captivity. We only have so much time to do certain things, and you shouldn't be being idle and adding on to BS. You really should be again going to attacking into adding on to the spirit. Reading. Get into the spirit of things. Because why? Because it's ultimately in the end. Because people forget that hey, we still got a lot to go through. When JT hits and which is a build up to it. You have to be think about any competition. Like it takes training. This stuff isn't like a snap of the finger. I'm gonna snap it on like a light switch. It doesn't work like that. Habits. You have to create good habits. We just talk about having a pattern of good works. A pattern means a constant, a long sheet of works, not just here and there. And that's how again in everything we do in this walk, not just the faith. As far as doing videos on camera, off camera, majority of our walk is off camera, man. And then this is stuff that we didn't learn growing up. That's why again, we just talk about blessed he that readeth, man. You should be getting into the book more, into the spirit of it. Because wisdom is not just one-sided thing, man. It's wisdom is in everything, which is of Yahweh from Shai. But that's what I had on that.
Okay, I got that Hebrews. This is Hebrews 6:10. It says, "For the Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love." So this is a labor of love. We're putting in time and energy. We're putting a lot of focus. In the ministry. When brothers get off of work, they're rushing to, catch up on what's happening. Going into news articles. Putting together scriptures to make lessons. Sacrificing time with family, sacrificing business endeavors, right? And the Most High, sees when you wake up early in the morning before work, you send up your prayers. The Most High sees when you wake up early and you do a lesson before you go to work. The Most High is seeing all of that stuff. The late nights when he wakes you up at 3 a.m., he woke you up. Not so you can complain, but so you can do some extra work for the ministry. And he sees when you take advantage of that time, right? And so the Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which you have showed towards his name, and that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister. So we do this all, in the name of Yahweh Shema Shai. That's why we're in constant communication, constantly talking to the Lord, in our minds, you know, would this please the Lord? Lord, is this what you want me to do? We're trying to have that pattern of good works towards the name of Yahweh Shema Shai. We do these lessons, sit down lessons. We, even off camera, brothers are serving the ministry, and this is how we serve, the body of believers, the electronic epistles, who may not have access to a camp that's near you, right? So this is how we do this. This is our service, and we're happy to do it. There's nothing more pleasurable than being part of, this thing of ours that Yahweh Shema Shah has gave us, right? So continue the fight. It says, I'm going to read verse 11. And we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end, right? So show that same diligence, in doing that which is beneficial to you in your walk. Because this isn't a sprint. This is a 100-yard dash. This is a marathon. And you gotta be in it for the long haul. And what do you mean? How is that a problem? In ancient times, when we was, we would serve the Lord. That was our culture. That's who we were. So it shouldn't be, oh, I'm tired of serving Yahweh Shema Shah. I'm tired. What do you mean? You will serve the Lord your whole life. You will follow His ways. You will have faith. You will believe. You will pray. You will read. You will study. You will inquire of things. You will show forth wisdom in your life, right? So we encourage the believers to show that same diligence, that the apostles and elders are given, to the full assurance of hope unto the end, right? And knowing that a reward is going to follow, the kingdom of heaven. You want to say anything, closing precepts, side?
No, that's pretty much the point. Everything we do is it's through faith. We hope that going to reap what you sow. That's it's all based off of faith, man.
Yeah.
The thing that you put on the ground, you have faith that it's going to grow to whatever you put in the ground, man. So whatever we put our hand to, it's all in faith, and it's all in the glory of Yahweh Shai, man. That when the time does come, we read earlier, that if we faint not, we shall reap in due season. We're going to get every needful thing in needful time, because why? In the time where it's needed for us to work, think about the ant, it's in Proverbs, diligent, the soul of diligence shall be made fat. It's a work, a labor of love, serving one another, taking care of yourself. Love your neighbor as yourself. If you can't know how to love yourself, because there's a lot of self-hate, especially, our nation of people, you don't know how to take care of yourself. So how can you take care of somebody else? So it's a balance in everything, So, but hey, call out Yahweh Shai, man, for this truth.
Yeah, I was gonna say, before we close out, a lot of brothers don't like discipline. They lack self-esteem.
Exactly.
So yeah, that was, Lord's willing. We pray that you're edified. Sow and reap. So just realizing, what you do on the day to day, right now, your day to day, it's like, oh, eventually, what you do on the day to day you're gonna reap in the future. And you're gonna see that. You never brush your teeth, you're gonna have a mouthful of cavities. So Lord's willing, the point was made. Lord's willing. We're going to close out once again, giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem,
Dash.
Don't want to say Apostle was a great millstone teaching us, we're saying truth according to the Bible well, and peace and blessings so reflect to the nation of Israel. Next time we say Shalom.
Shalom.